So about 2 months ago, I made a video where I played a bunch of random PS2 games, and one of the games really stuck out to me. It's called Airblade, and that game is terrible. I was about to make a video on it, but I decided to scrap it. There was another game that stood out to me though, and it actually surprised me. Bujingai The Forsaken City, which is actually not completely terrible. So today I'm gonna tell y'all about it. Bujingai is a third-person hack-and-slash game developed by Red Entertainment and Taito. It released in 2003 in Japan and 2004 in America. This game was set to release as Taito's 50th anniversary. They've been making games since the 70s. To further capitalize on this release, they decided to bring in Japanese rock star Gackt to play the main character. I don't know much about Gackt other than that he was in a band called Malice Miser, which was pretty popular back in the day. He was also in 2 other bands, Yellow Fried Chickens, which sounds hilarious, and Skin. Anyways, before the release of the game, they held a press conference with the 3 main voice actors of the game. They showed off gameplay and asked them questions. Gackt is a gamer himself, and expressed that for a long time he wanted to be in a video game, and how cool it was to now actually be in one. So when he got the offer, he gladly accepted. During development of Bujingai, he gave the team lots of ideas and feedback, which helped shape the game. One thing that he couldn't change about the game was his main character, and he was very disappointed, because the character that he plays does not speak.
喋りませんとか言われてなんか声入れるんですよねみたいな喋りませんみたいなあ、そうですかみたいな
I would be upset too. But he was able to do the motion capture for his character and record combat sounds. On the same day as the press conference, they did a post-interview like it was a basketball game or something, and Gackt talks more about the game and stuff. And when asked about martial arts, he goes on a long tangent about bullying. It's a very interesting interview. I won't go over everything, but I want to show you a couple of cool things he says in the interview.
ゲームの主人公やヒーローって呼ばれる者たちは常に完璧じゃないんだよね。みんな心にもちろん弱い部分を持っていて、でもそれを克服しようってする、それが僕のヒーロー像っていうかヒーローの哲学なんじゃないかなって。完璧なものはなんて言うんだろう、ヒーローってもし定義があるんだとしたら、それはそのヒーローって呼ばれる人たちが多大なる影響を周りに与えることができるってことがもう必然条件だと思うんだよね。強い完璧だっていうのでヒーローになるんではなくて、その人の生き方やその人の行動や考え方が周りにいる人たちに影響を与えるっていうことがまずヒーローの最初の条件であって。
Bujingai's lore isn't really explained in the game, but luckily for us, I found the game's booklet. So I'm gonna read it to you, and then I'm gonna put it in my own words so you can understand it. In the 23rd century, an ambitious attempt to develop a clean source of nuclear power goes horribly wrong. Earth is bombarded with high-density microwaves, and 70% of the population is instantly killed. The survivors discover that the cataclysm has imbued them with supernatural abilities. After this, fierce demons appeared, seemingly out of nowhere, to dominate the Earth and place the human race in the iron grip of their rule. For nearly 700 years, the survivors began to hone their new abilities. Alright, so basically like in the future, they tried to make some powerful nukes or something and accidentally killed like everyone on Earth. The people who survived gained superpowers and over time used them to become like dope-ass superhero martial artists to fight the demons. Now, there's an island called Kanki Shogun that's ruled by demons. A man named Lao Wong literally descends from space to the island to stop his former friend Ray Genron, who turns himself into a demon, and Ray is responsible for all of the monsters on the island and rules over them. Alright, let's get into the gameplay and the goofy story of Bujingai The Forsaken City. When Bujingai first starts up, we're immediately put into the game. We're introduced to some unique looking enemies, and our main character Lao Wong, and this boy is flashy as hell.
Oh my god. Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
As you take control of the character, you're thrown straight into combat. And if I could describe the combat in 2 words off of first impressions, I'd say it's satisfying and fun. The way he swings his swords is like a dance, and I was immediately hooked. I was getting strong Devil May Cry vibes. After you defeat the enemies, a cutscene replays the battle before showing the title card. The style of the game is based off of Chinese culture, everything from the characters and enemy designs to the music and settings. The game is stunning and has a great art direction. Next, we see Lao visiting the temple where he used to train at. We get a flashback from 3,000 years ago, so I'm guessing that the superpowers that the people got make them immortal. And he's getting trained by his master, Naguri Tensai.
No focus, no balance, no power. Hey! You are terrible. You need more training.
Now we get the option to view the tutorials. I like watching these, because the line deliveries of the master make me feel like I'm actually there getting trained.
Now you will learn how to glide. When in mid-air, press and hold the X button to glide.
The combat is simple and easy to learn. Lao has 2 swords that he fights with. You got your typical light and heavy attacks that can be used together for combos. Your second option is magic. There's like 9 different spells to use, each one having different abilities, like shooting a fireball out of your hand. One of my favorite combat features is the clashing mechanic. Bro, this is cool as f. You know what? I'm gonna let Master Naguri Tensai explain it to you.
Now that you know the basic fighting techniques, it is time for you to learn how to clash. You must listen very carefully. If you are attacked from the front, you will automatically deflect enemy attacks. If an enemy performs a series of attacks, the 2 of you will become locked in combat. This is called clashing.
After the flashback, Lao goes to the Forsaken City to look for Rei. Each level plays out with you either finding an item to unlock a door or defeating all of the enemies to break the seal on the door. So it plays almost exactly like the DMC games. Defeated enemies drop blue orbs, and these orbs can be used at the start of each level to upgrade your stats. I like the visual effect of the enemies bursting into yellow paper. After doing some research, I think they're called Fulu or Fu Talisman, and they're used to ward off demons or evil spirits. Throughout the levels, you can find hidden magic spells, and you can also find gold coins, which when they're collected, unlock bonus stuff in the extras menu, like those press conference interviews and videos. Collecting 25 coins unlocks Lao's alternate outfit, which is Gackt. Bro looks fly as hell.
He got that shit on though.
Forsaken City is kinda reminiscent of the Kowloon walled city from the 90s, because the city is very compact. Like I said earlier, there are no people left because of the microwaves, so only demons roam the city. There's a good variety of them as well. The standard enemies are called the Forsaken. Constructed by arcane magic, decaying flesh and steel are combined to create mindless soldiers for Hell's army. I think the words decaying flesh are insinuating that the demons were former humans that were caught in the nuclear bombs.
Damn.
These guys will usually be spotted wielding either a sword or a large cleaver. Then there's the undead, which are pretty much the same as the Forsaken, but they're a little stronger. Some are taller, holding a large weapon, and some are equipped with crossbows. To be honest, most enemies aren't really a threat. This game is pretty easy, but some of the demons you run into later are a little tougher. Progressing through the city, we eventually come across Lao's biggest threat, a strong rush of water. I'm not even joking, man. Master Tensai comes back as a ghost to lecture Lao. He's like, bruh, what the f are you doing?
Lao! Have you remembered nothing? You can reflect the water the same way you can reflect a magic spell. Have faith in yourself. Face the water and concentrate.
After this, we run into a new enemy type with the title of Overlord. Skilled warriors that possess supernatural powers and a great fighting prowess. And they are not lying. These dudes will clash with you like they got money on the line. No joke, I once fought one of them for like 3 minutes straight. Bro was not trying to lose. Anyways, after this, Lao meets a mysterious woman named Yofa, and they go through a portal together. At the temple, Yofa opens up these portals, which you can use to travel to different levels. But hey, look at this man loud flexing. Bro is so cool, he can spawn his own cinematic wind.
He got that shit on.
Next, we head to the bamboo forest. This is a maze-like area covered in fog. Here, we're introduced to the Sinister Talon, which is one of the Hell Beast, tortured spirits of animals transformed into weapons that hunt you down. These guys sound like Silent Hill monsters, letting out a screech whenever they spawn. They're pretty fast and can catch you in an unbreakable combo if you're not careful. After we escape the forest, we find and confront Ray, and bro just runs off. What the hell?
I gotta get out of here.
This is where we encounter the first boss fight, Greater Demon Trogdor. His description states, one of the great guardians of the gates of hell. What he lacks in speed, he makes up in sheer power. He's got a couple of moves, a big ground slam, and he can shoot a big laser out of his face. But he's not that much of an issue, and this man teleports away after he loses.
Bruh.
The next level is Desecrated Monastery. A monastery is a building occupied by a community of monks, and yeah, this place has definitely been desecrated. It's roaming with giant razor spiders that remind me of the ones from DMC3. We get a flashback with Ray and Lao, and Ray is like,
no matter how hard we train, we'll never be as powerful as these demons.
The two are at the monastery to look for Yofa, who's been kidnapped. They find Yofa, but she's already been killed. This isn't mentioned in the game, but in the booklet it says Yofa used to be Ray's girlfriend. So bro is in shambles. And he decides to become a demon and get his revenge, which doesn't really make any sense because he starts working with the demons and not against them.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light. Yofa. Yofa.
It's not your fault, Ray. I'll have my revenge. Ray, don't do this!
Even if I must become a demon.
Ray! No!
In the present time, we find Ray, and he f***ing runs off again. Like, come on, man. But not before spawning this giant greater demon named Mauler. This great cat is extremely agile, incredibly quick, and can breathe hellfire. This boss fight is decent. After we defeat him though, just guess what he does.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
When we return to the temple, Ray's there and he snatches up Yofa and dips. So we follow him to the next area, Demon Mecca. This place is very similar to the first level, but the buildings are designed even more strangely. I know it's probably just video game level design, it's not supposed to play exactly like a real city, but this place still leaves an uneasy feeling. Another interesting part about this stage are the interior sections, which give off a horror vibe.
Give me your money.
We finally make it to Ray again, and he reveals that this is the place he became a demon, and where he killed Master Naguri Tensai. Buddy was trying to get home court advantage.
Is that all you've got?
See you, chump.
After we defeat the Mauler for good, we head to the next level, the Unholy Mountain. The first section has us traversing through a blizzard that slowly chips away at your health bar. That's not too much of a problem though, the only nuisance being these flying creatures called equine hunts. Finding shelter from the cold, we come across a giant area hidden within the mountain, looking like something out of a completely different game. This place is filled with spike traps and lasers, and has this futuristic design to it. We had to find keys used to activate 3 different altars. And on my first playthrough, I spent like 40 minutes lost running back and forth to find them. After this, we get a cutscene with Ray and Yofa.
She's crying.
I don't know why he seems confused. Like, you turn yourself into a demon, you killed your master, and then you kidnapped her. Whatever, this story is dumb as shit. Let's just skip to the next level. Infested Burrows. This level sets up a boss fight at the end with the Mistress of Cruelty. And she kinda bad for real.
What did he say? Huh? Weird. Buddy? You're weird.
Her description reads, "From the lower depths of hell, she takes delight in hearing the screams of her victims as she transforms them into the Forsaken." Never mind. Forget what I said earlier. Her boss fight is not hard, and she's definitely the easiest boss in the game. She tries to run off, but Lau is fed up with that shit, so he pulls out the bow and snipes her mid-air.
Metro Boomin, make it boom.
And look what happens immediately after.
Surprised to see me, Lau? My spirit lingers on even after my death. Now it is time for your final test.
Master Tensai comes back from the dead for a quick spar session.
Incredible. The student has surpassed the master. You must kill Ray's demon to release his soul. Hurry, Lau. You must try to save him. Then we shall be free.
The next level is Cloud Sea. It's just a platform section in the middle of the sky, and then a tower section where we fight waves of enemies while we climb to the top. Once we get to the top, a giant dragon pops up. This is the white Demo dragon, and we fight him in this really cool arena. His description reads, "A wielder of ice and wind. This great fiend can alter reality and pull you into his world, where he's nearly invincible." I wouldn't say all of that, but I'd say he's the hardest boss. I really like his design, and that's one thing this game does well, creating lots of uniquely designed enemies and bosses. So props to the developers on that. Defeating him shatters his world, and then something super surprising happens. Lau actually speaks his first words.
Yofa.
You're going to fight Ray.
Free us, Lau.
We finally have a final confrontation with Ray in the demon dimension, which is in space, and he cuts an entire moon in half, turning it into an arena. I gotta admit, that was pretty dope. Ray is like, "Lau, I know you're talking to my ex. Now I'm really gonna f you up." And we start this intense battle. Let me break it down and commentate it for you. We get to clashing back and forth. Bro starts hopping around, so I hit him with a fireball. He tries to pull out the blade surfboard, but I knock his ass off of it. Then we immediately go back to boxing. I knock him off the moon, but Lau's like, "Nope, you ain't going nowhere. I'm not done with this ass whooping." Ray gets the upper hand for a second and knocks Lau off the rock, but catches him. And he's like,
"Sorry, old friend. You're going to die by my hand and mine alone."
But he stole my line, but that's alright. We continue to clash until he's eventually defeated. Ray starts floating in the air and crashes a moon into another one. And for what I can tell, it's not the same moon that Lau's on, because ours is cut in half, but Lau gets knocked into space from this. Then they play the exact cutscene from the beginning, and the game just ends. Yep, I can't make this up. It's over. By this point in the video, you probably already came to the conclusion that Bujingai is not very good of a game. I think it's obvious that this game didn't have enough time to be fully developed, and I think I figured out why. There's a couple of things that point this out. While doing research on the game, I found out that Bujingai took 2 years to develop, with the first 6 months being pre-production. In 2003, the game was officially announced, and the team stated that it was about 50% complete. I don't know much about game development, but damn, it obviously wasn't ready to be shipped. This game released at the very end of the year on December 25th, leaving the team with 4 months to complete the game. So I'm guessing this is when production really ramped up, being rushed to meet Taito's 50th anniversary. Another example is in the press conference interview, Gackt said the motion capture sessions for the game were done very quickly, saying that the teacher would get angry at him if he relaxed during the sessions. Koichi Yamadera also stated that at the time of the press conference, which took place in August 2003, he hadn't even started recording his voice lines yet. And I don't know how early or late in production the decision to make Lau a silent protagonist was made, but Gackt being a full-time musician, I could see scheduling recording sessions taking up more production time. The final thing is, the game is very short and can be completed in 3 hours. The levels feel empty, which makes sense lore-wise, creating a lonely feeling, but I don't think that was fully intentional. I just wonder how differently this game could have been if it was just given more time. Bujingai received decent reviews from critics, scoring an average 7 out of 10 from most reviews. Sales-wise, it sold a total of about 100,000 copies in Japan, so it wasn't really successful. Regarding a sequel, producer Keisaku Okumura stated, "As long as the energy of the fans remains, Bujingai 2 will see the light of day, for sure." Then the next line says, "Bujingai did not receive a console follow-up." As I played this game, I slowly started to realize its weaknesses. But overall, I had fun with this game. The satisfying combat and unique visual style, the ridiculous story, and the fact that they had a famous rock star play the main character. It might not be the best game of its time, but I still think Bujingai, the Forsaken City, should be remembered. If you enjoyed, subscribing would be awesome. The support means a lot to me. That's it. I'll see y'all soon in the next video.